Are you ready to get the hydrofacial glow? Loved in 87 countries across the world. It's not a facial, it's a hydrofacial. Now available across the UK. Visit hydrofacial.co.uk to find your nearest location.
The most important thing that I've said to my children and you as my friends, if I'm Doolally, please make sure I don't have a moustache or a beard.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, just come round.
Bring your tweezers.
Yeah, tweezers, because how awful! Because I would end up being like a bearded lady, you know, like the woman in the Greatest Showman.
Greatest Showman, yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back.
Here we are, a month older.
Yes, and deeper in debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
as they
much
say.
deeper in debt. Yeah.
I'm on day release from debtor's prison, so you know I don't know what you
I
guys are
know.
doing.
I think
We'll be joining
the
you.
sad thing is that's the theme of everyone now, isn't it? Wherever
Absolutely.
you go, whoever you speak to, that's the theme. And you know, you think, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep speaking to people who are, you know, are depressed and unhappy, and then you realise actually that's what we're living in, and we have to come through it somehow, don't we?
Yes,
I
so
know.
therefore we're going to be happy. We're not going to be talking about debtor's prison. We're going to be talking about the wonderful summer and how much I've missed you.
Sherry's face isn't saying happy. I'm sorry, Sherry.
What?
Please
What?
smile.
Oh. I went to the Bobby Ball unveiling. He had his statue put in Lowther Gardens in Lytham, St Anne's, and that it was very, very emotional, except that Lee Mack, who was there because he played Lee Mack's father, did the funniest speech because the statue is 9 foot tall, and of course Bobby was 5 foot. So he did the best speech ever about, you know, looking up to Bobby and he ever looked down on his head. It was funny, and I had the best time with Lee Mack. We laughed till we cried. So, but it was emotional because, you know, the whole of Lytham turned out in their hundreds and hundreds. It was just very emotional, but just, isn't that fabulous?
Fabulous.
And I saw
I saw the pictures, yeah.
Yeah, and you leave this world, and you know you leave that legacy, and people can go and look at that stuff, and they do every day.
Yeah,
you know, take photos and speak to him.
Oh,
brilliant!
It was fabulous. So there you go. We all went.
Yeah,
Lovely,
well,
lovely.
My brother came over, and as you know, sadly, he was diagnosed over 2 years ago with a brain tumor.
Yeah.
And they gave him months to live, and he was still able to make the trip with his lovely wife, who looked after him so well. And they stayed with me for a few weeks, and we had such a brilliant time. And none of us know what's going to happen. But
it's an inspiration, Dee, that somebody, as you said, who was terminal, is here with you, coming over from Australia. You know, he was a doctor, and he's still him, and that's the most amazing thing.
Still him. And although he can't work at the moment, we were talking to somebody about some, you know, an ailment, an illness they had, and he came out with this very long medical term. So although he can't talk, you know, long sentences because he's had a brain operation, he still retained that medical information. And so and we were all like, wow, you know, it was fantastic. And we had such a brilliant time. We went out for meals, and we went out for day trips. And although he gets very tired, he's so happy. And in fact, you know, my daughter and I said how happy he looks. It's like he's got contentment, and it's very weird, but it's kind of inspirational, isn't it?
Good. Yes.
There together.
Yeah.
You know.
It was fantastic. So, you know, I think there's always good that comes out of bad. There's always a positive side to everything. And, you know, and I know that there's a lot of doom and gloom, but at the moment...
Well, we're not going to be doom and gloom on this show. We are going to be happy. I want to talk about Harriet's hair and my hair. So Harriet's got you blondie streaks. Let's have a look.
Well, she's got light it's a natural thing, Debbie. I haven't gone.
Oh.
Well, my
Yes.
naturally gone a bit darker. Can you see?
Oh yes.
Twinning.
Yes.
And
Well,
why
I
is
like
that,
that.
sweetheart? Why is
I
that?
put some. Well, I just felt that I want. You know, I'm now. Isn't it weird? You get to a certain age where you dye your roots darker.
Yeah.
You know, for years, being blondes. Harriet doesn't know this, of course. We'll just talk about it. When you're blonde, you dye
Sorry,
your roots blonde for years, and
And
then
then
as you
do
get
that.
older, you actually dye them darker, so
Yeah.
they're not white anymore. It's the most bizarre. Anyway, so I've had to dye my roots darker, but then I said to Louise, who does my hair, I said, you know what? Didn't remember years ago we used to have darker colours underneath, didn't we? We used to have our hair.
Yes. Isn't it called balayage? It's called balayage, isn't
Yeah,
it?
something. But anyway,
Yes.
so she put some colours you can see through the bottom.
Yes.
And
Yes.
what it's done is it's made it look fuller, I think. Do you?
Yeah, fabulous.
It does look lovely.
Yeah, and I just
Hair
think
always
that-
looks full though.
Yeah, but I think it looks well. It feels better. That's the thing, Sherry. As
That's the
opposed-
main thing.
Yeah, as opposed to taking colour out, it's kind of like putting colour back
Colour
in.
in, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's so Harriet, and you had some blonde naturally put in your hair by the sun.
Yes,
It's
It
the
is-
sun, isn't it, Harriet?
it's the sun. Thank you, Sherry. It's the sun. We've had this amazing weather all summer. This is the result. I mean, and I don't know if you saw, but I went, what is that swimming called? Brave swimming or something? I was
Free
down in
swimming?
Devon. No, it's when you went cold swimming. I went to a beach in Devon and I went up to my ankles in cold
Oh.
water.
How
Oh,
awful.
well
I know.
done.
Very
Well
brave.
done,
A new
But you know,
level for me.
Ever since we had that Swedish lady, or the lady who lived in Sweden on the show, I've had a cold shower every day since then.
Oh, how
You
awful.
have.
Oh, it's lovely, Sherry. It's
Oh.
really, I can't tell
What do
you.
you do?
how
Just turn it
lovely
to
it-
cold, Debbie, afterward. You just
no,
turn it to cold.
I don't even start. I start it off cold.
Bloody hell.
Oh.
And then it
I
goes
just-
warm again.
No, I go
Oh.
into a cold shower and I stay there for. I can do 10 minutes. But what happens is after about 5 or 6 minutes, you get warm. I can't. You know, it's like
Yeah,
certain
I've had
type
that.
of hypothermia. When when people get freezing cold, they get warm. But
Yeah.
they think it's hot and take all their clothes off because your body
Yeah.
actually warms up from the inside. I remember you saying some time ago, Sherry, that if you had a hot shower before bed, it was the best thing that you could do because your body was warmed up,
Relaxes, yeah.
relaxes. So if you have a cold shower in the morning, it kind of works the opposite way around. So it wakes you up, and it's really fantastic.
None of you are as old as me, so you don't remember when we're at school. We used to go to the local Lido because I come from.
Yes, I
Nottingham.
do. We did the same.
Yeah,
And,
we did.
and
Is it
I
Lido
used to
or is it
go,
Lido?
and they would break the ice that was on top. I mean, it would only like a little. I'm not talking about an iceberg, little bits because it was so cold. And then they would shovel it around, and we'd have to get in it. So we'd get in it, and the only incentive was that we'd have a lolly when we came, if we went in, and we came out and put the towels around us, and I felt bloody awful.
Oh,
I hated
So
it.
no cold showers for you then, darling.
Oh, it was freezing and my body was blue.
oh,
Blue, I'm here to tell you. So that's why I hated school, because of the Lido
oh,
that we
you
had
had big
we were
but
mouth.
is
made
it-
to get into.
Is it Lido or is it Lido?
Or is it Lido? Sorry, is it Lido
No,
where
no,
the
is
where
it?
the girls
That's what I'm
are
asking.
dancing?
It's both.
Lido.
both. It's both,
You
darling.
say Lido.
Lido.
I say Lido.
You've
So
started.
no, cold showers not for me because
Well, anyway, I've been doing it, and the thing I have noticed is that my skin is in really good shape. Yes.
Yeah, I have no news at all. I've done nothing over the summer except enjoy. Thank you.
Oh,
well,
good.
I mean,
Well, I had
I would have had, I'm looking for a very nice doctor or
Right.
physician who
Yes.
can do everything.
Oh,
I mean, I don't mind sleeping with him if he can do everything.
yeah.
Like
What do
what?
you
And
mean?
you do mean sleep, don't you? You do mean actually sleeping. nothing
Yeah.
else.
Oh no, not
Yeah.
sex, because
Not anything
I
else.
don't know what that is. But
No.
sleep
What
is
is it?
everything. So if you can make my skin better,
Yeah.
lift my wrinkles to behind my ears, and then maybe plug them with something, or because when some people have lifts here, they pull the skin through their ears like an elephant.
Oh.
Because you can then knot that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Knot it at the back.
that. But there's the old adage is that if you have the facelift from the bottom and you pull all your skin up, that you get a little black curly beard. Now we'd have to not do that.
Black curly beard and big cheeks, Sherry, with cherries on the top.
Cherries or cherries?
Cherries. I've had a baby.
Oh yes,
You have.
baby.
Yes.
Can we clarify?
What's he called? What's he called?
He is called Ocean Mateus.
And when you say you've had a baby, darling, can we clarify it, please?
Well, my daughter has had a baby.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel he's mine. But I'd like to ask our viewers, and this is important, and you girls too, what is the cure for colic? He's got really, really bad colic.
Oh, has he?
And it's so, and he's so happy, and then you see the pain. You see him go, oh, and we've got a cranial osteopath. He's only 3 weeks at the moment, but he can see the pain that he goes through. He's feeding well, everything's fine, but it's that wind that takes him.
I used to have a horse that had that. I'm trying to think what we did with him.
I don't think giving him hay is going to work. I'm sorry.
No, there was some liquid that you give for colic, and it's not Calpol. Calpol doesn't help colic.
No, great. I mean, she's tried everything, but if any of
my nephew had it, and all that happened was he went through it, and then it stopped, and they did everything they possibly do. It's about a young body, and eventually it just disappeared. But they did everything, like I'm sure everybody's doing now, to give them the right things or whatever.
Right.
But but ultimately it just moves on.
He's gorgeous, and he was born in Sweden. And that it's just so fantastic. I mean, they have a health service over there, which I'm sorry puts ours to shame. What it's like.
Wow.
It really, really does, and it's beautiful. The hospitals are beautiful. They're very clean. They, before Kira went in, she had to have an elective cesarean, but they washed her. They give you special stuff to wash your hair in. They give you special stuff to bath in, which they don't do in this country when you have a cesarean. It's very interesting, and it was they kept her in for 3 or 4 days afterwards because he was 9 pounds 1.
Big baby.
So that's the best way out then. The best way out through the stomach. Thank you.
When Keane had Oliver, he was 10 pounds.
Oh my God!
He didn't have a cesarean.
He came through the flu. He went down the flu. Jeez.
Oh
but
my
very with great difficulty though.
Yes, that must have been a long labour.
Sherry, was that her first child?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh, goodness.
And the thing is, I think probably in Sweden, if they'd have measured and said this baby's 10 pounds, you're only 5'2", you cannot have this baby, they would have given a cesarean. And in fact, they said afterwards, actually, you should have had a cesarean. There's no way. He got stuck, So.
Oh God, was he forceps?
Yeah, everything. I mean,
everything.
Midwives just jumped on her, to get him out.
Terrible. She didn't have a Caesar to get him out. They didn't.
No.
Oh God! You see, the thing is, and this has just happened, hasn't it, recently?
Yeah.
That the NHS were going through a time for the last 20 years where they almost forced people to give birth naturally. And I think, and now that's stopping, because obviously you can tell. I mean, Kira with Archie was in labour for 4 days before she had a cesarean.
Yeah.
4 days in labour, and he'd have never come out the right way because he was that way, was coming out that way.
Yeah.
And when they eventually got him out by cesarean, and Kira was really upset, she wanted to give birth naturally. But the thing is, who cares? You don't go for the rest of your life talking about how you were born.
Just unzip and get it out and zip back up.
I remember thinking I wanted to do a natural birth, and I was doing a natural squat. Darling, I never used it. I lay on my back. I would have put my, the drugs in my own spine. I don't care. I was that desperate after 18 hours of labour. I was like, give me the drugs. I'll put it in my own spine.
Yeah.
There's no prizes for pain. We don't drill our teeth with, out painkillers. And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if it comes out of your ear hole. Have the baby. That's all that matters.
I agree.
As Joan Rivers used to say, knock me out of the first contraction and wake me up when the hairdresser arrives. And the other
That
thing
sounds
she said,
about right.
having a baby is like somebody has taken your bottom lip and pulled it over your head.
Yeah.
And I think that is exactly. Of course, I've never given birth naturally, being a nice Jewish girl, of course.
I actually I did the same thing as Harriet, and eventually the midwife, I got my hands round her neck, and I was squeezing, and they had to squeeze my hands off her neck because I was obviously trying to kill her.
Well, I remember after I gave birth to Sid, that the nurse came up to me and said, now you've got to feed her. And I thought, feed her? What? Feed her? Are you joking? I've gone through like 3 days of intensive labour. Now I've got to feed her. You can have her, mate.
Yeah. No, all that feeding business is just wrong, isn't it?
No,
well,
I like the feeding business.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Give them a knife and fork as soon as they come out.
Yeah.
Here's your bowl.
I love the feeding. Did you like feeding, Harriet?
Yeah, I did. I my first child I fed. The second one was having nothing to do with it. Just couldn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I fed Talia for 13 months.
Wow,
that's a long time.
It is.
That's
it is
very good, though.
Obviously, I was working, so I'm stopped feeding at 13 months, so it wasn't like full feed. It was like half, bottle or whatever. But
they're on solid food.
Actually,
they're on solid food after about 7 months, aren't they?
Yeah, but she still had breast.
About 3 months.
Oh yeah.
But it was weird, and I don't know if it's happened to you when you stop feeding, and I don't know if it happens to everybody. But when
do you think it's that bottle? Is it the bottle at bedtime that we've all hung on to?
What do you mean?
But we have a different kind of bottle. You give baby a bottle at bedtime, but we have a different.
Oh
bottle.
Yes, bottle of whatever.
Anything.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. A bottle of wine, which is much better.
But
when you stop feeding, your boobs go all weird. They go all lumpy.
like bullets. Yeah. Because I remember after 10 months, my mother-in-law came down, who was this very, very stern Irish lady, who said, now then, this breastfeeding has got to stop. And I went, oh, okay. And she said, you go out and I'll look after the baby. So I did. And I was so relieved. And I thought, she was very bossy. So it used to annoy me.
Right.
But quite right. This breastfeed got to stop. So that was it. And I came back and she was off the breast. And my boobs went, but, it was worth it. Because it's too long, actually. And you start feeling that your body isn't yours,
No, put them out to work.
Yes. Under chimneys.
When does that happen? What are you talking about?
Out to work.
Enough.
Kira went out to work at 18 months.
Exactly. There you are.
She did. Yeah. That's the right time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we believe. Totally. Well, it's lovely. It's lovely to be back to chat, girls. I haven't missed you.
I know.
Yeah, there's a lot to get out.
Oh,
there is.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
A lot of stress, a lot of
Well, no, we are going to be the happy show. Even we have a lobotomy, Sherry. Just don't think about stress. We just take it out of our heads.
Just take more pills, everyone. That's all I've got to say.
Yes, absolutely. Oh gosh.
And Baileys.
Yes.
Baileys.
Full Baileys.
But I told you about Patricia Brake, didn't I? Patty died.
Yes.
And did I tell you when I went round there? And she was drinking this white stuff, and the nurse came in and I said, do you want some more medicine? And she said, I'll get it for you. She said, oh, darling, it's not medicine, it's Baileys.
Oh, how brilliant.
That is so brilliant.
Well, why not?
Well, how fantastic that she had a full glass of Baileys and ice.
Oh,
and that's what she was drinking.
Fabulous.
That'll be me. It'll be a bottle of gin.
And the day before, friends went to see her. No, actually, on the day she died, friends went to see her, and she went, no, wait a minute, wait till I put my lippy on. So that's it.
That's lovely.
Yeah. I always say to Keely, listen, darling. So when I go to Lally, and more do Lally than I am now.
Yeah.
Stick me in a home, stick me in the corner with a bottle of gin, and you don't have to bother coming much, because I'll be pissed and I'll be dancing and I'll be but you don't want to see it. Just leave me. I'll be fine. You get on with your life. You get on with your life.
The most important thing that I've said to my children and you as my friends, if I'm Doolally, please make sure I don't have a moustache or a beard.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, just come
Bring
round
your
with
tweezers.
Yeah, tweezers, because how awful! Because I would end up being like a bearded lady, you know, like the woman in the Greatest Showman.
Greatest Showman, yeah.
No, that is true. That is true.
And that
everything's
right, Sherry. And people think I've had that body facelift, and that's the bit at the bottom.
Ah. Yes. Well, this is it. No, you have to have everything plucked.
I do think it would be great if we all had the choice of how we would disappear from our world, and we don't have to wait. We can make a decision to Bailey's our way if we want to, but we don't have that right in real terms yet.
No, but you can if you wish.
Oh yeah.
If you thought this is it, so how am I going to go out? How would you go out?
Well,
Harriet first.
Well, I'd obviously have to be on a stage somewhere, standard, lights on, and yeah, just Bailey's the hell out of it.
D.
I think on a cloud of
Of what?
of champagne.
Okay.
You know, all the bubbly at the top, and drinking champagne, and then floating off into the distance singing with honey, of course.
Right. Debbie.
Right. Well, I've already made this plan with Pauline Collins, in fact.
Right.
So we're going to go on a big raft with lots of champagne and just go into the sea. And that's it.
So cold swimming, what you're talking about again?
Well, no, but we're on a raft drinking champagne.
So it's okay. Yeah.
And what about you, Jerry?
Well, I remember doing a show called 100 Years Younger with June Brown, and we were in Sardinia, and we were on a boat, and we were looking at the sea. I think we'd had one or two glasses of something, and she said to me, "That's where I want to go when I die." And I said, "Where?" She said, "In a very flimsy sort of cardboardy box, and throw me in the sea. But I need to get to the bottom." So I said, "Oh, that's right, doesn't it?" She said, "No, because the thing is, Sherry, then I'll lie there and all the fishies from everywhere will come and have a bit of me. And they'll eat every bit of me until I'm gone." I think that happened when she died, I have to say. But I said, "Really, do you?" She said, "Yes, that's my wish. I'm going to write it down." I don't think she ever did, but that's a funny way to go.
Well, I remember years ago saying to David, we were talking about dying, as you do. That was my second husband. He is still alive. I didn't kill him yet. But we were talking about dying, and he said, and I said, "Well, obviously, I don't want a coffin. I don't want a funeral. I don't want anything. Just put me into a plastic bag. That's all I want." And he said, "I want the horses, and I want the plume, the black plumes, and a big carriage, and a huge big coffin." And then he said, "Wouldn't it be funny if we died together? There's David, and here's Debbie at the back in a bin bag."
Yes, you'd be in his little thing at the back, and he'd be going, "No."
Well, that's a nice thing to end on, isn't it?
Isn't it? As we said, no doom and gloom.
Yeah.
Well, it's lovely to be back and lovely to see you. And here's to new beginnings.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, please, yes. New beginning for everyone.
Love you.
Cheers, Dal.
See you all.
Bye, darlings.
See you soon.
Bye.
See you soon.